Hey everybody, starting the stream up here. Welcome to another edition, second edition actually, of Saturday Night Hot Tub and Hookah. Hookah and Hot Tub, those are easily interchangeable. I had to keep that in mind. Saturday Night Hookah and Hot Tub. Um, I am Admiral Alphonse, as many of you know. Again, this is another night of me just hanging out, chilling, having some drinks, and chatting with my friends. So I'll give everybody a minute to hop on, say hi. Hey. First viewers here already, which is our special guest of the night, which is awesome. I love when things are going that smoothly. So for those of you caught last week, we had a lot of technical difficulties. I feel like bad luck to talk about them right off the bat, but I'm going to because I am trying to be self-aware like that. Just call out all of my flaws so I can get better at them. That's how you improve, right? So last time, I had Cameron King on with me, and we had some great chats. But it took me a literal hour of troubleshooting to get things working. And we ended up doing an audio-only chat where you guys can just watch me. So this time, I test ran the Facebook Live bring someone onto live with you feature again. We're going to hope it works. You guys yell at me if it fucks up. If so, we're just going to, the strategy is going to be literally to restart the stream and try again. Because I don't have these spoons to try and run a bunch of equipment out here like I was talking about last weekend. So we're just going to run with it. I'd like to start off with some small updates about me, but really nothing's happened the last week. It's been seriously just, I work 4/12s at work now. It's my second week of work I just completed. So I seriously just go to work for 12 hours, come home and sleep. It's there 4 days. It gives me a 3-day weekend. That's about it. Got my Christmas trip today, actually, which was a nice start to some things. So, yeah. But anyways, I lost Andros. Come back, Andros. As soon as he comes back, I'll go ahead and start announcing him. He gave me a quick little thing to, I don't think I can look at because I currently am using my phone for this. But I want to go ahead and bring on tonight's guests for episode 2 of Saturday Night Hookahs and Hot Tubs. We have, I'm going to butcher this, His Royal Majesty Queen Andros Cross, correct? As soon as I bring him on, I'll tell him to correct me if I'm fucking up. But His Majesty is known for his glorious smile and shining personalities, I want me to remind you guys. And I'm super excited to have him as my second guest. So let me go ahead and test out, see if we can make this work. Bring it up. And just popped away. The option was there. There we go. Keeps going away, and there we go. I'm trying to bring Andros on the split screen. You guys saw the sound what goes away again. It's what happened last week. Hopefully, this will just go. Andros, how's it going?
This is exciting. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I like the backdrop.
Black Lives Matter.
Can you guys out there hear us? We still have audio because we lost it last time we went to dual screen. Somebody wave. I see a heart. Oh, that's a good sign. Janie's throwing hearts at us. Okay.
Okay.
Patrick says yay. So, I think everything is working. We are glitch-free tonight. Yeah. What are you drinking, my friend?
This is a bottle of Ménage à Trois. So, Ménage à Trois red blend.
It's a lot more fancy than whatever I'm drinking. But hey, cheers. Good to see you.
Cheers.
So how have you been? How are you surviving the pandemic?
I am fine. I'm surviving this pandemic. It's so funny because I work in banking, so I'm considered essential worker. So I haven't gotten to do the whole quarantine, like not going into an office, that kind of situation. Like everybody else kind of got to do. Not everybody else. I shouldn't paraphrase that. But like, so for me, I got to quarantine a few times this year, but like the big one at the beginning was like for 2 weeks during a vacation that I was supposed to go off and go do something, and well,
right.
So yeah, I'm doing good. It's kind of funny because I have this like, the whole hypocrisy of trying to quarantine and not go around people and everything. And yet I've been, going to the protests and I've been out with tons of thousands of people. So I have a hard time trying to be like not hypocritical, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're going to like birthday parties and weddings and stuff. I mean, you're going out doing shit for a good cause. So I mean,
Really?
I appreciate and respect that.
Yeah, and while like everybody wears masks there, and and as they've gone on, the masks have changed into like gas masks and other intensives that are insane. But like, yeah, no, it's
The gas masks become a necessity sometimes. I mean, Jesus Christ.
yeah. So I started doing the protest. Oh Lord, I went to my official first one in the beginning of March, April, May. Yeah, in May at the end, like beginning of May, mid-May. Yeah, it totally quickly changed into. It's like almost going to an event, if I can explain it that way. You have this stuff that you have to have. Like you can't go without it. You can go and attend, but like the chances of you having to like use these items are huge, like the gas mask, like medical supplies, like all the stuff that ended up being more part of it than ever should have been. I don't know. It's that kind of funny thing. It's so strange. It's so strange.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, no, it's ramped up to a pretty level pretty fast. I've been keeping an eye on it up here, but yeah.
Yeah. But what about you?
I've been working the whole time because the first chunk of the pandemic, the first 2 months of the pandemic, I got laid off and then brought back onto my job. So I had 2 months at home where I built a pond. I don't know if I can flip it around currently. I can almost show you my pond. You can see my pond from here.
I keep looking down because I'm trying to look at myself. I need to like look up.
Kind of see that. There's my pond over there. Yeah. What is? Oh, that's my tripod. Kind of. Yeah. There you go. There's my beautiful pond.
Trying to look at it. That looks nice.
Yeah.
What's in it? Is there fish in it?
I do. I have 4 koi.
Oh.
In my 2-tier pond. Yeah.
Are they decent size?
I've had to pause people when they get down. What's that?
The koi, the size of them?
They're little guys. I had to promise you people, once they get too big to live in my pond, I'm going to return them to the place I bought them from. So they have a giant pond for giant koi. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big sized pond, but they're going to grow at some place. Koi get fucking humongous. They get to be the size of like German shepherds, they're giant, and they get fully grown. I mean, holy crap, they're big fucking fish. Seriously, the place where I got there were some there that were fucking. I mean, kind of lean back to show that they're giant fucking koi. Jesus, yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, did you ever you grew up in Oregon? No, you grew up in Washington, didn't you?
Yeah.
Whatever. Oregon, Washington, very similar. So, speaking about big fish, that's kind of strange. I remember growing up in Oregon and hearing about the sturgeon that live underneath the dams on the Columbia. Yeah. And like how they can get to the size of like a fucking SUV because they just live under there for so long and just eat whatever comes through, that if like a human was nearby, they could like swallow you whole. And I remember hearing about this, and I don't actually remember which family member told me it, but after that moment, I never could swim in a fucking river again. Like, it was done, son. Like, I wasn't gonna do it. I'm so afraid.
When I was a kid, I was fearless in water, but as I get older, like, I'm terrified if I can't see my feet. Like, I don't know what the fuck's down there, it's gonna grab me. So I do not like to swim in deep water anymore. Like, I had one too many experiences with fish touching my feet. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's down there. I don't like that.
Exactly.
Open ocean, open river experience.
Oof. And like, there's nothing worse than when you get like, so in the summers, especially growing up, I would like get off boats and whatnot. And yes, it is. It's terrifying. And like, all of a sudden, I'd put my feet down, like if you're coming to back off the river or whatever, and you like touch like algae, not algae, but like the little river grass or whatever. Oh Lord, I would scream. Yeah, no. It was done. Anyway, sorry I brought that up. Just the thought of like koi into the size of Dobermans just made me think of like those damn sturgeon.
Well, so you guys have a giant dam sturgeon, and it's like in the Puget Sound here, we have the local legend of the giant octopus that live underneath the Andros Bridge. They're supposedly the size of like semi-trucks or whatever. And no one's ever seen them, but the legends are that they're down there. So I was telling someone about that. I don't know if it's true. There might be giant fucking octopus. But we do have a breed of octopus that lives in the water right here in the Puget Sound that have the capacity to grow to like huge fucking sizes. That scares the shit out of me. Swim in the water and some fucking octopus grabs you. Like, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't like that. See, I don't like that. That freaks me out. Because they have tentacles, and those tentacles can rip.
Yeah. No, none of that.
Either way, I'm not going into open body water anytime soon, so I'll drink to that.
Yeah. See, I've been to Hawaii 3 times now. I love swimming in the clear blue water there, but still, like, there's a video on YouTube of me coming across a giant turtle underwater with my GoPro, and I was swimming along, and I just all of a sudden this turtle that was the length of me next to me. And me and Katie Cat were out snorkeling, and I'm swimming along, and there's something, a turtle the size of the length of me next to me, and I screamed like a little girl underwater. You can hear me like, scared the shit out of me. After I came, it was super fucking cool. But for that moment, like, I did not expect to look next to me, and there's this giant fucking creature, bigger than me, swimming next to me. Like, they're fucking huge.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Chris was said, did you just read the thing that Chris sent through?
29
largest ever recorded living octopus lives or lived under the Narrows Bridge, 29 feet wide.
See, there we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Thank you, Popcorn, for that fact. Yeah, I knew that it was something like that, but Jesus Christ, yeah.
So scary.
I don't know how we got to under.
Oh, well, because the koi fish.
Yeah. That's actually what I like about these chats. If we just start rambling to wherever the fuck we end up rambling to, we don't have any sort of subject we have to keep on. It's perfectly fine. What is this year without a single pirate event like for you? I mean, because last year was pretty tumultuous with a lot of stuff, and so this year was supposed to be the new stuff's supposed to start happening, and the gods said no, fuck that. No, we get no pirate events, so it's fucking weird, right?
It's very strange. It's so
correlated, but
it's so funny because, like you said, like last year, politically, it all for me ended in a very strange note, and so I left the event. I don't even know how to explain it. I left the events last year partially relieved, but partially like not happy. And things kind of went along, and they rolled along, and we started figuring out ways to make it part of the game, make it part of like everything that was happening. So, right. I mean, like you do when these things happen. So, I remember like I went to I think I went to one event this year, one single solitary event, and it was Dick's dinner.
Was the last one that happened right before things fell apart.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I was drunk as fucking hell.
I was like, I swear to God, you were there, and I wasn't sure. It feels like a lifetime ago. Like this is so crazy.
We're coming up on a year to the last event.
Jesus, yeah. So I attended that event, and we had we all had a great time, as you know. Cold as hell, but Food was good.
Yeah.
Everything was good. So I was gearing up for a year of like maneuvering of like what would it be like with no royalty, no any of that, you know. So I was ready for it. And then it didn't happen. And now I'm like, I don't know. I honestly, and I'm not saying that I would, but like after this 1 year of not having it, I don't know how anyone else feels. I have felt for a moment of like, I could probably walk away.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but I know my ass goes to one event, I will go right back to where I was and back in love and ready to go each year, each event. So the year's just been so like, of course it's been strange, but like this year has just been especially strange because I was just thinking like I don't have the normal distractions. I don't have the normal like I have to pack, I have to get this made, I have to have these made, or like all this stuff that I normally would have done before events. And now I have had none of that.
Yeah.
And yet somehow I'm still spending money. So riddle me that one. Like I don't know how it happens. So
I don't know. Yeah. What? As you know, I stepped down as captain of the felines in January to take a year at least off. So let the rest of the crew kind of run things and get some fresh blood, fresh ideas, pumping and stuff. And that whole thing fell out the fucking window because we didn't get to do that. So I mean, the whole idea was to give Katie and Betty Boobs and some of them a chance to run things and see and get some fresh ideas, get some fresh energy going there. So I'm probably gonna take another year off as captain now. I want to give them that chance to just reinvigorate the crew a little bit, kind of change things up. So I'm taking like 2 or 3 years off now. Maybe I don't know when I'm coming back to being captain. If I am, that's a whole conversation we have to have at some point. But it's weird. Like I planned for this down year, and it came into so much more of a down year than I planned for. You know.
No, totally. That's how I felt too, because I was going to go into this year of not having as many roles or as many like responsibilities, and just nothing happened. So now it's like I don't even know, and it's kind of funny. And I don't know if you feel this or know this, but like, how many people have already started asking you, "Do you think there'll be events this coming year?"
Yeah, people. I mean, yeah, I know people are talking about midsummer, maybe. Maybe NASA will be the first big event or something in May, but we just don't know yet. Like people are kind of tentatively planning a little bit towards it, but no idea.
Same. I was reading the comment that Chris wrote or popcorn. Like I was
It's weird that a lot of us had this point. We're at this point where we maybe needed a down year, and then life came in and said, yeah, well, fuck you, you get a full year off, whether you like it or not, which is weird. I know talking to Campbell out there, like the RC is worried about having 2 full years of no events. Like that momentum's hard to pick back up.
But
I mean, I think a lot of people are.
Here's what I'm going to say on that, and I think a lot of event organizers need to really like start honing in and maybe even start working on it. Y'all have had a year. Now we're going to maybe possibly going in that we're now in winter, and you have the possibility that we may not even have an event until late summer, maybe midsummer.
Yeah.
So once, like, let's say the vaccine is there, everybody has access to it, everybody can start taking it, and the pandemic code is lifted.
Yeah.
I hope the motherfucking God that these event organizers have something packed, because I feel like the first event that opens up and says, we are going to be there, we will have hand washing stations, we'll have all this stuff still, but, the traditional pandemic, like, lifestyle we've all gotten used to is no longer there. I feel like that event will be sold out. I feel like everybody is inching or wanting so badly for an escape or something just to get away from.
Yeah. I know we originally had hope back in that what's the name of the event? Marathon game was still going to be able to happen in September, because back in like June, we were kind of thinking, okay, like things are gonna be lifted by September, and that'll be the first event of the year. And they were talking about like as soon as registration for marathon games happens, everybody's gonna have to jump on it because it's gonna sell out within a couple days because the first event's gonna be fucking crazy. Everybody's been cooped up for so damn long. Like we want back in, and so I think people are gonna be lining up ready to fucking go hog wild.
Exactly. I think the first event that is officially open and taking tickets and will happen, it will be a wild ass party. You know what I'm saying? Like it will not be. It'll be a bit of I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, but I'm like, I would, if I was an organizer, I would create, hands down, definitely one of the most epic motherfucking tokens you've ever seen. I would also, I would have it all lined up and ready to go, so it ran so smoothly, so beautifully, and so perfectly that first event of us all back would, like, everybody would stay, reinvigorates us, and hopefully will carry us into this like new, almost realm or life of events that perhaps wasn't quite there for a while, you know? And because I think everybody's going to have this new appreciation for events where we kind of all started taking it for granted, and not really taking it for granted, but just we weren't seeing the magic in it. And when you get told you cannot be there at all, and there's nothing available at all, you start to, like for me, you start to go, I never realized how much of it made up my year. Like it made up a shit ton of my year. And I'm not negative about it, but I'm just like, wow, you know, and I'm not the only one. You know, there's people who do private events and then go do SCA. I can't even imagine what they would be doing this year at all if they just sat at home and worked on stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well,
I think
like, so my worry is a little bit is that a lot of these events are kind of like a machine, and once you let that machine sit and rust for a while, it's going to be hard to start it back up. Like, people are going to be rusty, like, so I'm hoping they'll be able to get back really quick and easy once they're back, but it's going to be a hard transition. Just not doing this for so damn long. Like, to remember how the fuck to run events.
Totally. And I would hope that this, if that's the case, like, you know, an old machine that just needed a tune-up and some time down, I'm hoping that everybody goes into it with a refreshed perspective instead of trying to force a way of finding a new happiness or a new okay, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a while there, after the dreaded and an actual awful time between the fall of Sea Dogs and the resurgence with, you know, Nassau and all of that, there was just this little bit of a lag moment that kind of carried in. You know, you had this moment, I think, and maybe I'm over talking, but like with Nassau, we had this moment of community. Like, people who were there were like, yes, this shit happened. It was nasty. It was dirty. It was no good. Now he's got into Nassau with a refreshed, like, ideas and you know, tradition that we've all carried, and let's keep it going. And we have, but I think also we've muddled a little bit because it became too much, where we're trying to like take away from the old but give to the new. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe this year was just a great pause for everything, and to, like, as Shri said below, like, to find the magic again. And I think that magic will be the very first time the gate opens on the first event after this pandemic. Everybody will be going, oh, God, yeah, this is what I was missing. This is what I was needing. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know personally, I get seasonal depression over the winter, largely because I don't have anything to do, and so it's kind of like usually like I get like the last couple events, and it kind of starts winding down at the end of the year. Like with the last big event being Tortuga, and then we have a smaller event after that, marathon games, and kind of wind down into this long winter where nothing's happening. And then you know, things start slowly coming back. We get Courtesan Carnival, we get all things, and start moving into the big event. That's what brings me out of the kind of winter sadness. And I'm bummed going not having that, like, that kind of back into the bigger events, events in the spring, and then you start getting into really big, crazy ones in the middle of summer. So yeah, I really feel like the first big event that happens, like I don't think anybody has to plan anything like as far as structure for the event. Just let us just gather and people make the magic themselves. I think that's just all we need. Like, it doesn't have to be a bunch of big contests planned. Just let people loose.
Honestly, fuck the contest.
Yeah, that's
like, honestly, I love them, but like, yeah, there's just right now. I think what we just need is community, and I think after this pandemic, that's going to be the number one thing about rebuilding and games, competitions, all of that. Although yes, fun can be at times. Community fighting. You get people who get butthurt. They get upset. They didn't win. This didn't go the way I wanted it to. This didn't happen the way it needed to. You know what I mean? And I think year needs to not be like that year returning needs to not be about that. It needs to be about community building. Like, let's get back together. My God, it's been far too long. You know, just 1 year is far too long. And let's just all get back on the same page.
Yeah. Well, I have tons of friends who live down in the Oregon area. I mean, people like you especially. I mean, that I don't see if it's not for events for the most part. So there's people that by the time I go back to an event, I won't see them for nearly 2 years. I mean, that feels insane. You know? Yeah. Everybody always raise your hand if you get some serious fucking sad going on, because it's been so much worse. There's nothing to look forward to, like sad as it sounds, but you know. Sad seasonal affective depression or seasonal affective disorder, I believe. Yeah. It's that when winter comes around, you don't get the sunlight, you don't get all sort of stuff. I mean, it's
totally.
You know, and normally, like, you know, right about now, probably this weekend would have been the Feisty Feline holiday party, usually for like the second weekend of December. So normally I would have like, you know, 40 people in my house right now as we speak, if this wasn't the pandemic.
Yeah.
We love to have house parties and stuff.
So hard. Kate Brown, we got through that first shutdown, right? The big shutdown here in Oregon, just like you guys had in Washington. And then Kate Brown was like, okay, this is the new regulations. You can have blah, blah, blah amount of people here. But so House Forum said, okay, well, let's just do a tiny little thing together, you know, with those who live here in Oregon. Because, you know, we couldn't be with those who lived in Washington and blah, blah, blah. And we had like maybe 10 folks together. And it was so wonderful just to hang out with just those 10 people and just to connect and have it. But damn, I won't lie, we all left that going, did we do the right thing? Maybe we were being too, like, cavalier, you know? But shit, this has just been, I don't know. I think this whole pandemic has caused that whole thought process of, am I being good or am I being bad? Am I being right or am I wrong? I don't know. That's the thing. We're just kind of caught up in this whole realm of like, we just don't know what to do, and we just need it to be over, honestly. And like, not saying like the pandemic is end, but like what I'm saying is we just need to get onto a page of understanding of where we need to be, and then hopefully now with these vaccines that are coming through, we can hopefully end this horrible, crazy spiral and get back into normal-ish life, whatever it may be. You know,
I can't wait to be sitting around a fire pit with friends, just telling stories about what we did in the year off. I mean, just God, that sounds amazing. Yes. Yeah, back when we were in phase 2 or whatever it was before this most recent lockdown. I mean, I'd have little 5-person gatherings at my house where we'd watch musicals and sing along to shit and smoke hookah and go crazy with like 5 of us at a time. And that was, I mean, something nice, but you know.
Yeah, I did something very similar. We had what we called Taco Tuesdays, which everybody knows about Taco Tuesday. But at our place, we had 3 friends, who lived in town in Eugene, and we're all essential workers. So 2 of them work in grocery stores, and you know, so we're all out in the public anyway. But so we were like, let's all get together once a week on Tuesday. We'll have dinner, drinks, chill out, break up our week, hang out. And we did that for a hot minute. And then the numbers just started rising, here in Oregon. And I myself and the others, we put a kibosh on it. We're like, love you all so fucking much. But like, even though we live in the same town, we only see each other, during the week, but we just have to like, be better. We have to walk away for a bit. I don't know. That's just the hard thing. It's like the irony is I got asked a question on Friday at work, and as you know, I work in a credit union at a bank, and a member asked me. She said, "So how are you feeling with all of this?" And I was like, I wanted to probably be fake and be like, I'm fine. I wear my mask. I do well. But no, I really knew this member, and I said, I'm fucking bitter. Like, I'm getting bitter. I said, and I'm bitter not, and this is where, like, earlier at the beginning of this, I said, I feel hypocritical because I've been going to protests and I've been going into all of these close range places. But I said, I'm bitter because we're here and there's just no idea of what to get us out of this except for the vaccine. But like, here we are in this and nobody seems to care. Like, we're in the holidays and I know friends, I know many people who went to big family dinners. And I'm like, y'all,
Yeah.
like it just makes you bitter at a certain point where you're like, I'm wearing my mask. I go to work. I wear my mask from the time I clock in to the time I clock out. I wear it in public. I'm washing my hands. I'm doing every fucking thing I can. I mean, I canceled every single, like, like Taco Tuesday and any time to hang out with anybody one-on-one even, you have to cancel it all. And so you just kind of get bitter where you're like, there's just a certain group of people who clearly think, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to just keep living life. And it just makes you so angry because you're just like, we're just not going to get out of this until there's a vaccine because there's just too many people who just don't care.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me. It's just the people who don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know I can speak from experience. I mean, for a while there, I felt like I was doing okay, and then a lot of people kind of gave me a wake up call and like, dude, you're doing too much still. I'm like, shit. And I just realized like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I don't. And it's just hard to even step back and look at yourself and say like, fucking, it's so easy to justify sometimes. Oh, I'm staying up with the small bubble. People who aren't that bad, and you kind of start looking like, oh, but then things start to slip little by little, and you're letting getting into bigger group activity stuff. And like shit, like. I mean, I have some friends who are hard on me, but some of this just came to me like I've been doing some dumb things. I'm like, shit, you're right. I can accept that. I'm trying to day to day get better at it, but
yeah,
it sucks. And we just don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like,
no,
play your best, you're fucking responsible, but.
Yeah, and as everybody knows, I'm sure whoever's on my Facebook knows how political I am, and I'm not going to go into it here. I'm just stating, like, everything has been politicized to a point, and I'm going to say this pandemic most certainly has been politicized to a point that has caused definite damage. We never should have created this public health issue the way it became. It should have definitely been about take care of your neighbor, take care of your friend, and that's how I've looked at it. And that's, again, I'm going back to me saying I'm almost a hypocrite because I've been doing what I've been doing. But I also was talking to a friend who's in the medical field, and like I said about going back to masks and wearing masks and being in public not in a closed space. And my friend had to explain to me, and I actually really appreciate that she did this. She said, okay, so you go to Portland protests, let's say. She goes, there's 3,000 people. You all are in close contact with each other, correct? I go, yeah. She goes, but everyone's wearing their mask, right? I go, well, yeah. Every time I've gone to one, most people are wearing their cloth masks at base level, especially at the beginning. She goes, okay. She goes, one person coughs and they have their mask on. It does not, even if it got a little bit out of the mask, it's going to go and carry off in the air before it can land on the people. She goes, that's how this virus spreads. And so she kind of like explained it to me. She was like, even with the tear gas, even with all of this, she was tear gas being the worst part because you cough, you want to take off your mask, you want to cough. Yeah, I mean, it's like the worst fucking thing to deploy during a global pandemic that is spread through coughing.
Yeah.
But
Right.
But anyway, she went into this whole thing, and it was really actually wonderful. And at the end of it, she was like, regardless, she goes, I hate to say it. She goes, I don't want to sound like I like some kind of, I don't know what she was trying to say. But the point of her point is like people at the protests aren't spreading the virus as much as somebody who went to a bar, for say, and sat with a bunch of people at the bar, not wearing their mask, taking shots, laughing, singing,
Right.
or going to a restaurant with a bunch of people, or going to a house party with 40 people and not wearing masks and getting drunk, and like all of that.
Yeah.
Like, and she goes, how many times at protests did you see people not wearing their mask and you avoided them and moved away? I said, oh, more times than I could count. She goes, there you go. She goes, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so crazy, because I think about like how many times people handed out hand sanitizer, cloth masks, or even the the cheapo ones that you get, like the throwaway ones. Like, I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah, no, y'all actually did it right. Which cracked me up, but I don't know. It's so wild out. Like, you just want to, like, I don't know. You want to take a deep breath, and you want to exhale and feel like it's I'm good, I'm done, this is done, and we're just not there yet.
Yeah. Like Sean was saying, yeah, I remember with people with allergies, just sneezing and stuff and that. People like, swear to God, I'm not sick. I just have fucking allergies, and everybody's looking at you like you're over there coughing, sneezing. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, dude, promise, allergies. Yeah. No.
Question about like funny things that used to not be a big issue and things that now are. One of the things I have never realized that have become a big one and is now a big one, and the one that makes me kind of uncomfortable now, is when people touch me. Yeah. Somebody recently tried to reached out to shake my hand, and I looked at his hand and I looked at him, and he was like, don't shake hands. And I said, not during a pandemic.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. And I was like, what the fuck? Sir, it's been a year.
It's funny. I just got hired on a new job, so I'm meeting a lot of people, and every time I meet someone, the mentality, you meet someone, you want to shake hands with them. Like, we're doing elbow bumps. Like, hey, nice to meet you.
That's what we do. Yeah, you do the elbow bump. Yeah, that's what I do normally. I was like, I'll elbow bump you, and they're like, oh. I'm like, I'm not touching your hand, and don't touch me. I've had that so often. People will touch me in public, and it's almost more offensive than if they actually coughed on me, and I don't know why that is. But recently when I was at Fred Meyer's, I was reaching to grab chicken or something, and a lady put her hand on my back to reach over and grab another piece of chicken nearby me, and as she did it, I literally felt like I froze in place. And I was like, no, you did not. Yeah. First off, you're over top of me, which is a big no-no during this pandemic. Yeah. Second of all, your hand is on my back, which I would never even do to a close friend that I wasn't quite sure was okay. You know what I mean? Like, all of this was just a no-no. And I literally, she was like, and then she said to me very quietly, I hope you don't mind. And I thought, man, I could have minded more. Like, I am mad that you thought this was okay. I would have stepped away to allow you to grab your check-in, and I would have had no issue doing that. You just could have said, can I grab that chicken? And I went, oh my God, yeah. And I would have moved away. And
get the fuck out of your way.
Yeah. Don't touch me right now. This is just not what I want. It's just not what I want. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I've noticed that I have this weird. I have a gut reaction when I watch TV shows now, which people are too close in public to each other. It weirds me out. Like what are you doing? Like, why are you right next to this person on TV? I think it's a shot before the pandemic, but I get a gut reaction when I see people being too close on TV shows and sitcoms. Get away from him! Stop it! Stop it!
I thought I was the only one.
It's such just an instinct that people getting close, and your brain's like, oh, that's bad. You can't do that.
I thought I was the only fucking one. Like, I would watch things and go, oh, God, that wouldn't happen now. Or that can happen. Like, there's so many shows I watch, or not so many shows, but I've watched a few shows of previous, and I'm like, they're way too close. They need to back up. This space does not have social distancing. All of it. Oh, wow. I thought I was the only one psycho who thought like that.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
It's gonna be so, and honestly, once things go back normal, I do not mind if we keep this a little bit more of a mentality. Stay the fuck away from strangers. Like, I don't need to be within 6 feet of the grocery store. Just keep your fucking distance.
Keep your fucking distance. And I'm for one, definitely, and I don't know about anybody else, but I have thought about the mask situation, and I'm like, this is something America or the United States should adopt.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the only country, like most of like Far East, Asiatic countries use masks during flu season and such, and just to keep that shit down. And I'm like, why would we fucking, once this is all, I mean, I know how United States works, we won't use them again, but like, why wouldn't we? For me, I'm going to keep some of my masks, most definitely. I have way too many, but I like them, and I know this sounds funny to somebody who's a cat owner. Get a mask, because changing the litter box with a mask on, hands down, best experience ever. You don't smell it. You don't. None of it.
I'd like to say I know American, I don't think you will, but I'd love to see us just normalizing the mask when we're sick. We don't fucking have them now. Everybody owns them. Let's just keep fucking using them.
Right. If you don't feel well, wear your mask. You go to work, you're like, I don't feel well today. I'm going to wear a mask because I don't want to get anyone else sick. Yeah, I agree. I think that is, Jesus, we talk about the United States about being, you care for your fellow brothers, you care for your fellow sisters, this is the United States, we work together. So why wouldn't, if somebody is sick or not feeling well, and we all know we work in a capitalist world, we work in a capitalist country, so why wouldn't you say, I understand I have to be here, and you all have to be here, so I'm going to wear a mask, so if y'all won't get what I have, and we'll be fine. Yeah. Like, I've thought about it a lot, and I'm like, I guarantee you, once this pandemic is over, corporations, businesses will say, don't wear masks. You don't need to wear a mask at work. And that just is going to irritate me, but it is what it is. And
people are going to be so sick of them, they're going to fucking burn them when this pandemic's over and never wear them again, which sucks.
Oh, I already had a coworker who said that.
You know? Yeah.
Coworker already said that. She's like, I would love to have a mask burning party at the end of it. And I thought, I'm not going to burn all my masks. Lady, I spent money on them. And second of all, some of my friends made some of those. They're actually quite beautiful. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to burn them. I didn't have an issue with them. They don't bother me. They're not that big of a deal. Like, what the fuck? So,
I wear mine from the time I clock in until the time I clock off. They don't let us. They don't want us to do lunch break. So we go back to our cars. Sit in our cars. And I sit in my car for lunch break. I take my mask off, and it's like out of my car, put my mask back on. It's on me, 24/7 the whole time.
Same. Yeah. I don't understand. I do see a lot of people who drive around with masks on, and I would love to understand why they do that. Somebody once recently said to me, it's because they don't want to touch it. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But as somebody who works in banking, who touches raw money on a daily, every day, hours in, constantly, I do wash my hands, I sanitize, I touch my mask constantly. I'm going to knock on wood. I have not gotten COVID. So what I'm just saying is I don't understand people who are like, I don't want to touch my mask. You can touch your mask. Just don't. I don't grab your. I don't even know. I don't think it matters really. I just find it wild that people drive for miles and miles in their masks. And
Yeah.
I did in the beginning, so I'm not going to say don't. I'm just saying, like, you really don't. If you're alone in your car, you don't.
Yeah.
I get in my car with friends that before I started canceling everything, we wore our masks all in the car because it's a tight space.
Yeah.
With my roommates, no. We live together. There's no point. So I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Sorry, we totally spiraled this into a conversation about COVID, but it's just so prevalent.
That's what's going on. That's what's in our minds right now. Like we're just, it's hard to not think about it. That's all shit.
Actually, I have a question for you, Alphonse, because I know that I actually have a response to this. Before the shutdowns, before we all started like really getting to a point of oh God, there's not going to be events. Did y'all have a plan to go that was COVID ready to be at events? Because we did, and I would love to hear yours.
So like didn't have one off the bat, but there was definitely like talks of like, well, what if we have some small events coming up later on in the year? Like will there need to be, we never got to the point where we have to start planning for it, but there was kind of that talk like, okay, well, are there going to be like social distance events? Like, is that going to be a thing when we first start coming back to events where masks are going to be required, where there's going to need to be mask wraps and hand sanitizer, things like that, you know? And it had been discussed lightly, but we never got to the point where it actually seemed like enough of a reality where we really planned. Because every time we kind of started talking about an event coming back, that got kiboshed pretty quickly, and it didn't end up happening.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because I remember with Blue Worm, I talked to the Silver Dragons who were part of our higher ups, right below me, and we had discussed like ordering hand washing stations and like even as far as being like you can't enter the house without a mask, or if you're not part of the house, you can't be here in this, like all these certain spaces of being like we're going to totally, make sure that this cannot get at least spread through the house. And I don't know, it's so funny to think about. Like now I still think about it now where I'm like, what if we could have had events? Like what would it would have been a nightmare. But like I think about that, I'm like, man, I remember saying to the Silvers, like I was like, I won't leave house. Like I will be in house, and anyone who comes to see me, blah 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 blah. Like it's so funny. Like we were ready to do the hand washing. I even said that I was going to order one of those, wands that you point at someone's head and it tells the temp.
Yeah, right.
I was like, anybody who come near the house who want to come in would have to do that. And I said that I was like, the bar will be closed. Nobody can come and get a drink. Nobody can come get a shot. Like it won't happen like that. Who you bring to your tent is on you, but like we need to be smart. Like that was the whole thing, and I was like, God, this is gonna be so hard to run. Like,
yeah, there have been talks. It's like there were going to be small events, like say like all thing happened. Would that be sort of thing where you have to check temperatures at the door, make sure everybody's mask and sanitizer there, really police that. No drink sharing, because drink sharing is a thing we're so used to. Here, try this drink. I mean,
it's hard, yeah.
Can't fucking do that at all. Yeah. I know throughout the years, there were smaller events that were kind of talking about, like having very capped events with very strict procedures. I think nearly all of them ended up being canceled before they happened because it wasn't safe to even do anything really.
Well, yeah, definitely. I remember seeing those same things where people would try to do something, and it's like, how can you do something right now? You can't. It's just, it's fucking.
Every weekend where that fucking EMP still threw their big crown tournament. I saw YouTube videos of that where people standing around like watching a fire performance. crowds of people seeing him asking me the pictures. You guys are fucking
I know.
nuts.
And then you kind of sit there like this. You're like,
Yeah.
I watched it with like tears in my eyes, and I sat there and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elderly members in that audience.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they don't matter. I guess they don't care.
Yeah. It was definitely frustrating. You know, I'm not always want to talk because I've had missteps throughout all this, but it's
no, and that's why I said constantly. I'm always the first one to say I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because of what I've done all summer. So I'm a person who's like, I've been at these, doing these protests. I've been out and doing all this stuff. And I was just there. I had another protest this week on Wednesday. So I'm not sitting here and playing a role of like I am Mother Teresa and I've been the best ever. No. Yeah. But I'm also realistic and I understand. I've also been tested like over 10 times. I've gone to the testing centers over and over and over, and I've encouraged many other people to do it because Congress passed that people can get that testing for free.
Yeah, I went through it.
Oh, get it done.
Yeah, it took me 45 minutes sitting in my car. They stuck a thing up my nose. I've gone to a clinic and done it as well. Like it's not a hard process. And it's a lot of places saying that's the best way to keep tracking it is to.
It's uncozy. It's uncozy. It don't feel good.
Yeah,
but you get it done because that's what you do. And Alan, I'm about to laugh, but like everything that's happened this year, I have thought y'all clearly have never been gay, but y'all clearly have never had multiple partners and don't know that you have to regularly go and get tested for things. And for somebody who has had to do that for almost his whole life, I'm like, this pandemic, although the mask wearing, the social distancing, everything sucks, but like the getting tested part, bitch, this is normal for some of us. Some of us wait in waiting rooms to go get some tests. Some of us go and this ain't that crazy. This is just part of life.
Yeah. No. Again, hoping that America will have some shifts. I don't count on it. Just testing for everything. Just go get fucking tested. Just get rid of the fucking stigma.
It's not that fucking difficult. Everyone's like, my nose. And I'm like, but don't you snort cork? I know some of you aren't that innocent, so don't be playing this game about something up your nose is gonna feel uncozy.
My very first thought, they said I got the first nostril. I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then the second nostril, they like hit a part of my brain. And I held it with, okay, well, it takes 2 fucking seconds. You're done. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when the doctor went into my nose, the first few times before I got really used to it, they would go in and I was like, and I felt like I made eye contact because I'm like, I want to sneeze so fucking bad, but I'm not going to sneeze. But like they were doing it and I was like, I'm good. And then she pulled out, she goes, are you used to things here in your nostrils? And she said it in such a weird doctor way. And I was like, I have no idea what you mean, ma'am.
Actually, yeah, this is actually my fetish, by the way. Don't shame me, please.
Right now, I'm as erect as I've ever been. So you can put that swab back down my nostril.
I don't even think I'm sick. I just come here to get my kicks off. Like, thank you.
Jesus Christ. Like,
I know
what the fuck?
But you're doing it for me for free, so thank you.
So, not too recently, I saw a video of this girl who went in and got the full COVID test, And as she was getting it, she just started screaming. And I don't mean just screaming. Yeah. I mean, like, somebody was jamming a knife into her side. She was blood curdle screams. And I thought, this is the most dramatic fucking shit I've ever seen. Could you imagine getting this simple little test, which, yes, is uncomfy, is not that hardcore, and screaming like somebody was stabbing you? honey, I'm worried about the rest of your life. Like, what is gonna shock you? What's gonna make... This pandemic has just taught me a lot. Like, people are not ready for the big things.
No.
They're just not. Like, this country would not be ready for some serious ass shit. Like, this pandemic, it was serious as fuck, but like, they just aren't ready for like actual like reality. And I'm a big history buff. And I was reading recently about Great Britain and during World War II and rationing and like how hardcore the government was about like being serious. And then I also read about like 1918, you know, the Spanish flu pandemic, which is of course what they're comparing us to now.
Right.
And I am so angry to say this, but in the 1918, during the flu pandemic here in the United States, Great Britain didn't have as big of issue because, of course, moving in between countries was not as crazy as it was now. You didn't have airplanes. You know, you had ships. So things went a little slower. So, point blank, during that pandemic, it was much different. But, like, United States had this whole thing about like all these anti-maskers, all these people who didn't want to wear a mask in 1918, and like, you know, there was even like it's so grossly parallel. And yet, like in Great Britain, nobody even talked because the government was like on it. They were like, no, you must wear a mask during this pandemic. Everybody will wear one, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying about it, history buff, about like rationing, it's ironic to me that then Great Britain rationed and had all these serious things going on during World War II, and in the United States, I mean, of course, we didn't really get affected till Pearl Harbor, and I don't know. I just think about the United States, how we think we're so much on this little island of safety that we really aren't on. And like this pandemic has proven that everybody has like gotten this mind, and I didn't help that health professionals would say things like, well, if you're young, you're healthy, if you're healthy, young, and you have it all together, you'll be fine. Like,
right.
That shit was the worst thing they could have ever fucking said, because it caused anybody under the age of like 60 to say, I'm good, I don't have to fucking care. And what? Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like that whole American attitude of like, we're fine, we're good in what we do, you know? And it just couldn't be further from the fucking truth. Like, you're not, well, certainly this pandemic. I really, truly do not think that people realize where we are on the world stage on this.
Yeah.
In the worst way. And it's beyond embarrassing. I have friends. I have a friend who is an American, you know, born and raised like me, and she married a Scot, and she was living in Scotland, and she talked about what was going on there, and she said people talk about America like it is burning, like it is fading, like they talk about it like, do you realize how many Americans have died? Do you see what's going on there? And they talk about it in fear, like, I don't want to go there. They talk about us like as if it is like, you know, dead laying in the streets, like plague rats, like all that kind of shit running around. And people don't realize that. They think that everything's fine. And they don't realize that the whole world is watching us with like wide eyes and their hands on their mouths, like scared, you know? And And they should be. I mean, it's disgusting. We have the highest fucking death count of all the countries combined.
Uh-huh.
You can't even meet us. You couldn't meet us.
Yeah. Wait, let's roll on into one last pandemic related subject before we call it a night. It's been about an hour now.
Sorry, I'm like spiraling. No. I know.
It's where conversations go nowadays. I mean, it's again, it's what's on our mind. It's hard to not talk about. But so, say the first week where everything is 100% cleared up, everything's good. Where if you knew that everything was safe and the world gone back to normal, what's the first thing you want to do? Just go out and cut loose. What is your everything's good.
So it's my first week, right? And everything's good. Vaccine. Everyone's getting back to safety. For one, I would go to a fucking bar. I would go to a goddamn bar. I want to take a shot. I want to like look at a fucking stranger I don't know and say, yeah. I want to do that. I would go to a restaurant because I have not been to one. And I would eat a bomb-ass dinner. And I will not lie, I would meet up with a motherfucking dude. I would meet up with somebody because you can't date or see anybody this whole fucking time because you can't trust them. So, yeah.
I was just saying, I did not realize how much I missed just getting damn near blackout drunk at a shitty bar somewhere. I want to go bar hopping up in Capitol Hill in Seattle and just get a bunch of fucking idiots, like shots and yelling and dancing to dumb music. I want to feel like I'm 25 again, just kind of stupid fucking bar.
Exactly. I want to fucking dress up. I want to look fly as hell in an outfit. And I want other people to look at me looking fly as hell in an outfit. And I want people to appreciate me looking fly. Like right now, everybody's like, I really love this whole thing. Or like everybody in this pandemic has posted pictures or videos being like, look how big I've gotten, or I'm so body positive now because I've gone to like a comfort. And I'm like, that's great. And I love that. I absolutely fucking love that. But like, and I understand because we all worked out and did what we wanted to do because we want to look fly when we all went out all the goddamn time. And when you don't go out, what the fuck does it matter? You see the same people. All of it is going to be wild once things are finally officially back to normal and do things again. Yeah.
I want pirate karaoke back. I want to go back to pirate karaoke. I want to be just drunk in a room full of my friends. Yes, Sean, I want to go back to the mix. I want to go back. I want to go back to the mix for like a couple hours, and I get really stupid drunk. I want to wander over to the Silverstone, and because the mix is our local nicer gay bar. Don't even know it's not. I've heard it's less of a gay bar, more just a dance club now.
Wait, where's the mix? Because I went to a gay bar in Seattle.
It's in Tacoma. The mix is in Tacoma.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the mix is part of our downtown Tacoma bar scene. I miss it so fucking bad. I want to go do karaoke at the mix. I want to go do Hamilton karaoke at the mix. I want that in my life right now. Oh my god.
Well, I moved to Eugene, right? I moved to Eugene, Oregon, the day of the fucking shutdown. Like Kate Brown passed her shutdown as we were putting boxes in our apartment. And I've lived in Eugene, Oregon without any idea of what it's like to live here when there's game days, without any idea of what it's like to have an actual functioning downtown scene, without any idea of what it's like to live here with students actually on campus. So, like, all of this, like, I'm living in a city I really don't know how it operates because we haven't, like, yeah.
Well, one of these days you're gonna have to come up. You're gonna have to see the mix come with us. I love our downtown Tacoma bar scene. It's so much fucking fun. I miss that so much. We have a McMinimans now. You can wander to McMinimans. You can wander to the mix. You can wander to PSP, Puget Sound Pizza. There's food. There's drinks everywhere. I love walking this. I love that.
Love that. I went to that McMinimans, the one at the old lodge.
Old Elks Lodge.
Yeah. Did you have you gone there?
Yeah, it opened up the summer before the pandemic, so I could spend a good summer having great times there. But yeah, I miss that place. It's a fucking great venue. Like there's 4 floors of bars you just wander around between.
Right. I love the fucking Hawaii bar at the bottom with the pond and everything.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah,
So
I fucking love that place. I miss it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love everything.
All right.
So.
Andros,
Anyway.
and start bringing things to a close. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. This is a great chat with you. Like the hour flew by like fucking nothing.
It's been an hour.
It's been over an hour now. It's 10:04. I started the stream at 9. So yeah, right?
See, this is what happens. I start ranting, and everybody just has to sit by on the sidelines and listen to me rant, and I'm so sorry.
I've been talking to. We've been here doing the whole thing. It's been great. I'm gonna go. I promised last week I was going to last week's on. I was having some issues editing the video from last week, but I'm gonna try and put this up on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. So if people want to watch us chatting for an hour here, because I think this was a blast chatting with you. To be honest.
Oh, I had a great time, and I'm so sorry that I am COVID crazy, and I just talk about it all the time. So.
Good, dude. It's on everybody's mind. We can't not think about it right now. Like we were talking about the TV thing. We can't watch normal life without thinking about how this relates to COVID. It's fucking everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I mean, no joke there. But again, yeah. Thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to see you in person again.
Me too.
When all this
I think you're going to be shocked by how short I am.
Yeah, it's been great. Actually, I'm one of the few people who has just actually buckled down and dieted hard and gotten in the best shape of my life during the pandemic. Like I decided to flip the script and I've been putting on muscle since the pandemic started. So I'm ready to get back around people and show that off because it's just I want people to be like, hey, you're in great shape. Like, yeah, you can't ever see me because I'm locked up in my house all the time. So, you know.
I would love to have been that kind of person. During the pandemic, I could have been further from the truth. I was definitely enjoying myself. So, and so people might see me and go, that balloon in Andros' coat was real wild.
No one's gonna be judgmental after this. We're just gonna be so fucking happy to see each other. Like, really, trust me. No one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in 2 years. You put 20 pounds on in 2 years. Like, that's gonna be on no one's fucking mind. Like, Jesus Christ.
And if those people are that way, they have some deep-seated issues, which you and I can go into on another fucking talk. And I would love to do that. So,
hey, well,
yeah, bring me back. Let me just rant at you about shit.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to have you back to just get another time. This is a fucking blast. One of these days, the plan is, in maybe 4 or 5 months to do these chats with people in person because that sounds like a lot more fun. To have 2 people in a hot tub sitting around, smoking hookah, sharing drinks, and streaming. Like, for now, we gotta do it virtually, but sometime, my friend.
Yes. Shree, I am being nice. Talking about me, honey, I know who I am, so. Anyway.
Patrick says that. It's adorable.
No, she's
all right, Andros.
Yep. Bye. Love you all.
Thank you so much. Mwah. Take care. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This was an absolute blast. See you all again next Saturday night. This was Spawn and Queen Andros Majesty. This was Hottubs and Hookahs. Bye, everybody.